This shit working? This thing on? What am I doing over here? That's not right. There we go. Alright. I think we're good. Are we good? Why isn't it working over here? This, we good? Oh, you know what? Yeah, these headphones aren't working. Oh well. I don't need to put them on, so we'll just live with it. And if we don't hear that someone does something in the activity feed, nobody's gonna care. Because nobody's gonna show up. Alright. What the fuck is this? There we go. Nope. Okay. New one. This is not the right page. So this one's got a little face going on it. Whether or not we do that remains to be seen. But you know what it is? It's eye time. It's eye noon. God, I'm so funny. It's actually concerning how funny I am. Okay. 205, that's good enough for me. Okay. How do we do this? These do appear to be roughly the same eye, even with the same placement, interestingly enough. And then just different eyes. I guess we can steal that. I'm a bit of a thief myself. Let's see what we can pull off here. You, no. Ah, damn it. Let's go. Hello? 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 What? Nyum. No. Nyum. No. Nyum. Nyum. Maybe. Okay. So now this is where I'm not sure where to go. I feel like this is decent, but it just feels too large, doesn't it? But if I like keep going in, it's gonna feel too big or too small. What was that? Is that it? Maybe that's it. Do we just send it at this? I mean, how long can we stay at it? You know? Uh-oh. Blue light filter. How about no? How do I get this off my screen? I just tap that. Oh, that works. All right. Uh, okay. Interesting. I think we're gonna send it with this. Do we do more at this stage, or do we just wait? I think we could probably add a little bit of spittle, if you will. All right. Ooh, wait. So yesterday I was gonna try and record some Icarus. There was an update, and so I just didn't get around to it. There was also an update to Arc, I think, so I didn't get around to that either. Um, and then today I just saw before going up, there's a fucking another update for Icarus. Now, to be fair, I am on experimental, and I believe that was. I think at the time that was because there was like some sort of new thing that we could actually use. I don't think I necessarily need to be on that now. But I'm sure that has something to do with it. But it's like I pick the worst times every single instance. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Now's a good time, and it's updating, and I don't have time anymore. You know, classic. Okay, so they did this like weird thing where they like stitch the face together. I mean, it's not that weird. I feel like it's a pretty common. I don't know what to call it. I guess design trope. It's not that strange. Um, we could probably just leave it. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So we have that. I'm thinking we let that be, and from here we try to do the last strat, which is probably not gonna go that well. Oh, sorry, hitting the mic. Damn you, Mike. Mike Wazowski. Probably gonna try and get on Helldiver so I can actually get a fucking war bond unlocked as well, so that I can use something different for a while. Think that'll be fun. I mean, we were told that the Hive Lord apparently spawns even on like the lower difficulties if the Hive Lord like is listed as a, what do we want to call it, an option. So that might be kind of interesting. I think it'd be cool to see what it is. I'm wondering if it's that giant fucking wormy thing that we were seeing dead on planets. No, I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. All right, I think we're gonna have to lock this off so that you know. So we're gonna, I guess, try to do it. There we go. And we'll probably hide that later, see if that helps us at all. Okay. Let's zoom out and see how we're working. Oh god, that does not look good. Okay. Well, we got a couple more triangles to add, and we'll see how that goes. That was going to be too big. I feel like this is probably fine. Okay. Not too bad. I hate it. I wish I wasn't here. Okay. I love this shit. Do we want to iGoopify the bottom? I just don't like it, so I think we're gonna skip it again. I don't know. It's stylized. I'm sure it's great for whoever, but I don't like it. I also don't feel like I'm like sometimes I'll do it because I'm like, well, I'm kind of missing out on some of the essential learning of doing something. I don't really feel like I'm missing anything here. We're gonna deviate because I don't like how this is looking. How's that? I don't know. It's because I fucked it up, not because the original's particularly fucked up. I think we might come down a little bit. Come on. Hello? There we go. I watched it was on Netflix, the Jurassic Worlds. I've seen all of them except for Rebirth, or I had. I have now seen Rebirth as well because it is also on Netflix. Which I watched through them all because I'm like, you know what? First off, it's been a while since I've seen them. Um, but you know, I was like, well, maybe Rebirth will make better sense with it. It's not really related at all. So you don't actually have to watch them if you haven't seen them or if you haven't seen them in a while. I definitely think it does kind of help explain a little bit, but there's like an opening text thing that kind of lets you know what's going on. Um, Overall, it kind of just felt like it wasn't that great though. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd watch it again, you know? It's not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but it didn't have like the charm of other. Jesus Christ. Of the other ones. Like, obviously, the Jurassic Parks, especially the first one, is like iconic as fuck. But, like, even the worlds, I know a lot of people don't like them because it's like, well, it's part of the park series and it just doesn't do it justice or anything. I feel like they're still pretty fun and, like, a lot of the characters are pretty likable, right? There's something about most of them that's like, you know, a redemption arc or, you know, a prove yourself arc kind of thing, you know, overcome your fear arc, right? There's also always like this nurture over nature kind of message in them, like, can you overcome your fear or whatever. And I feel like they always kind of have like the same thing, and yeah, that's a little boring in a sense, but like it kind of makes the characters generally like relatable, right? Because that's the goal. You know, people making these movies want you to relate to the character a little bit so that you guessed it, you relate to the character, which means you're more likely to enjoy it, right? I didn't really feel like anybody from the Rebirth really made sense. Like, none of them worked as characters. I can't even remember their names. Fuck. Um, man, I don't know how to say it without spoilers, I guess. All right, let me put it this way. There's a family that absolutely has no business being where they are, and it makes zero sense why they're there. There's no explanation, like, you can't explain it away. They try to by saying they're going from one place to another, and they just went for that. Makes zero sense why they're there. You would not take your young child or, you know, your other child who's about to go off to college, so not as young, but still a young child. You would not take your children where you are absolutely psychotic. What? So instantly pretty unlikable, like dynamic. They made like the other person with that group pretty unlikable. And then the other group, they're all just like kind of unlikable mercenaries and a scientist who doesn't feel like a scientist. Like none of them really ever act like their specialty, if that makes sense. Because usually it's like, oh well, he's security, so he acts like security. And none of them really. I mean, they gave us one security guy a gun. That's about it. And he didn't really do anything with it. And I'm just kind of like, why? Also, they were way underprepared for where they were going. It's just none of it made sense. None of it made sense. They like went in. They had a plan that nobody followed, like, and or was told about. So it's like so just off feeling. Like nobody felt like a good character. Like in the original ones, right? Everyone, like in the very first one, everyone but the park owner is quite innocent. I mean, there's if you haven't seen the original Jurassic Park, first off, you've had your chance. So, but this is a spoiler warning. There's a lawyer, and he honestly, generally, isn't that bad of a guy. Like, they make a lot of jokes about him, and again, spoiler, especially him dying. Right, he dies quite comically in effect, and they turn him into a real pussy. But can you really blame him? He's running from a fucking T-Rex. So like he's kind of the most unlikable character, but they like really tried to stereotype him as unlikable lawyer guy. And he fit the bill. But just about everyone else, you know, I guess maybe is too much of a character, but it's like the scientist people are scientisty. Like they're not the the elite commando, right? It's not the Expendables with dinosaurs, right? It like they feel right in the worlds outside of Rebirth. I believe Owen Grady has some sort of military background, so okay, fine, he makes sense as like a kind of rugged outdoorsman, badassy type of guy. And he's very skeptical of using wild animals for a lot of the things that wild animals are used for. And he also generally doesn't want to save them because he knows they're going to kill people. But he also loves animals because who doesn't love a rugged outdoorsman who loves animals? So, like, the entirety of it is him having to make moral choices, right? And his group in general, right? Like the almost conniving businesswoman turned animal rights activist, right? Him trying to toe the line between I gotta save humanity or I gotta do what's right for humanity, but I also should do what's right for these animals, and I kind of want to just do what's right for me and helping my pet raptor kind of deal, right? Like he kind of always makes sense and works as a character because he allegedly had the background, right? He allegedly was like always true to this nature of I'm not okay with saving the dinosaurs because that kills people, but I'm also not really okay with killing the dinosaurs to save people, right? But in this one, it's like they're going there for a company, and the company's goal is to use the heart juice, I guess the DNA from like the biggest creatures, land, air, and sea. You're already probably like, what? Huh? Do you really need all of that? But to use the DNA from them to create yourself some sort of miracle drug to help with heart disease. And that sounds fine, but you know, everyone more or less is there for money, right? Even the guy himself, right? The scientisty guy that we were talking about. Bro's there for the money. And it just doesn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't have the charm because everyone, like I said, is more out for themselves throughout most of it. And yeah, there's moments where obviously I feel like I already spoiler warned this, but spoiler, there's moments where like people kind of go through it, I guess, and change a little bit. But for the most part, everyone kind of remains too mysterious and too unlikable. Like, sure, they make right choices when it matters, it feels like, but at the same time, they don't make a lot of good choices. This kind of looks like an egg yolk. I don't know, like I said, it just doesn't have like the charm of, you know, here's ScarJo's character. Wait, that's who that is, right? Is that Scarlett Johansson? ScarJo. Uh, Surely if I type in Jurassic World Rebirth, this will have her. Yeah, it is Scarlett Johansson. All right. So you're kind of just like, surely she's, you know, gonna make the choices that mean the most, and she does. But also, like, you don't really ever get to know her, and you don't really get to know anyone else, and it just kind of feels empty. And I think this is also again a spoiler. I think it makes zero sense. She basically didn't tell anyone the plan. Because she was like in charge of coordinating their effort to go there and get the DNA samples. And like she didn't tell any of her like good friends the plan to escape. And like overall it just makes zero fucking sense. Like they all right, I guess it's a more spoiler warning because I feel like we're getting in deeper. The plan is, like I said, to collect the DNA. I feel like that part was shown in the trailers, right? To collect DNA of dinosaurs. So they go to an island, right? And the plan is to go to the island and then leave the island with the samples. But they need to get the sea one, the air one, and the land one. I don't know. I guess they wanted surf and turf and chicken or something. Um, but like, why would she not tell in case she died? Why would she not tell people like, okay, we're gonna boat there, we're gonna do this, we're gonna go here, then we're gonna go here, and then we're off. Like, what? There was no contingency. She was just gonna let a lot of these people who were her friends, right? That they were all her own crew outside of the guy from the company who's sponsoring this. She was just gonna let them die, basically. It What? I feel like that's maybe what bothered me the most. Like you learn like nothing about her really, and her whole plan didn't involve anyone else knowing what the plan was. That's so fucked. Oh no, I just realized that this is on that layer. No. That's fine. We'll just leave it. Mostly because I spent too much time on it. I don't know. I feel like I said, I wouldn't not watch it again, but like, oh wait, I have to do this. I wouldn't not watch it again, but I just feel like a lot is missing. Like there's no attachment to the characters. You know, quite a handful of them died. Yeah, I know. Spoiler, spoiler. I already said that several times. But quite a handful of them die, and like it just doesn't matter. Nobody even cares. Like it just feels so empty. It doesn't feel like it has the, like I said, the charm, the relationships of the other ones where it's like, oh, Owen and fuck, I can't remember her name now. But like the love interest where yeah, I guess they're gonna stick their necks. Also, he's his character, Chris Pratt's character, is generally kind of seen as quite heroic. But right, like the two brothers who didn't get along in the first one start to get along, and they really have to get along to survive. Right, is like repairing a broken bond or whatever, and it's like it's kind of charming in a way. Right, the next one is like learning about a young girl's relationship with their grandfather and like a conniving dude who's trying to do more cloning. Why they always want to do the cloning, right? But like there's something there in the parks, right? The first one was super charming because you get to know each and every character, right? You're introduced to them before they even end up on the island in a lot of cases or on their boat or whatever, right? In the second one, you're brought back with the Ian Malcolm character, right? And once again, super charming. You kind of like learn about him and his friends. And then there's the one guy, spoiler, I guess, the one guy who dies so horrifically. And quite frankly, he's the biggest hero ever. And I think you're just supposed to laugh at it because he's kind of chubby and bald. That one always kind of got me. But you know what I mean? Like there's something to like about a lot of these characters. But I just don't feel like in Rebirth, most of them didn't really have that level of charm to them, right? It's like I said, it's fuck. This is on the lashes layer. No, why didn't anyone warn me? But again, it's a matter of here are these people. They're doing this for money. Do they make some right choices? Sure. But like none of it ever really made any sense why they even fucking bothered because how does it even matter how big the creature is? Like they don't explain the reasoning behind any of it. It doesn't really mentally add up. Right? You're just supposed to accept the fact that the three largest terrestrial air whatever creatures are of course going to have the largest hearts and thereby some level of DNA is going to help you. Like huh? I don't know, man. Doesn't really make sense. Also, I'm pretty sure a blue whale, like the modern blue whale, is like, isn't it bigger than a mosasaur? Hold on. How big is a mosasaur? I know they're massive. Let's see. Do we have like a size estimate here? 39 feet. 12 meters. The largest one. Okay. So that doesn't sound like it's bigger than a blue whale, but we'll just go ahead and look. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, not even close. 100 feet. Okay. All right. So the answer was always there. It was always in the ocean. It was the blue whale. So what they should have done is hunt down a blue whale, then the uh, Quetzalcoatlus, then the Titanosaur, which, quite frankly, both the Quetzalcoatlus and the Titanosaur in that movie, I'm pretty sure are smaller than creatures in the other movies, but that's fine. I mean, you could pretend that they're adolescent or something. I think you already get where I'm going with this, though. It's just so goofy. It just doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have the charm you're looking for in one of these. Ah, shit. Do I have to I see, I see. Hold on. How did this happen? Okay. Do do do. If you want to ignore all of that as well and try and make some sense of it, it still doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Jesus, this looks like ass. Okay. I forgot to draw the inner triangles. I have failed. I could try and do it later, but I just don't think it's going to come out, so I think we might want to skip it. But anyway, what really I guess this is again a spoiler. What really doesn't make sense is all of these laboratories exist. Like even if they've been abandoned because the island or whatever happened, it got overrun, it had to be abandoned because of that volcano thing in one of the movies or whatever. All of this data almost certainly exists, if not in some cloud local storage, right? The real missions should have been to just go and look at the fucking data and take the data and upload the data. Use like a satellite uplink to just upload the data. That would have been it. Like that would be a much better movie instead of having to fucking use some sort of sci-fi tech gun to suck the DNA out of them. That also doesn't make sense, but it would have made more sense to have them have to infiltrate this island, take the data, upload it, via satellite, and then get out. That makes way more sense. And it would have been even more believable still, albeit kind of stupid and plotty, but if they just said, "Oh shit, we can't do it from this part of the island because we're too low, so we have to go high or something," you know? Or get off the island with the drives or whatever. Right? That would have made more sense than having to fucking, you know, dart these creatures that sucks the blood out and so fucking goofy. Makes no sense. I guess we're gonna have to go back and remove that. I'm gonna call this the egg yolk guy, by the way. Okay, so what is on this layer? Nothing. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Do we want to do that weird face? Well, it's kind of rude to call it weird, I guess. Weird face thing. Guess we can put a little nosy on it. Did I not? Oh, hold on. Select, deselect. There we go. A little much. How bad is that? Kind of bad. Meh. I don't know. I feel like there was just too much going on in that movie that just didn't. I don't want to say didn't make sense, but like didn't make sense and felt pointless. And then like everyone again kind of just felt wholly unlikable. So it was like, do I really fucking care if they are successful or not? Okay. Fuck. I think we might undo this orange. I don't really like the orange. Orange. Okay. We got that going. Let's undo that. We're gonna try this. Fuck, this is tough because I want to do it so that it like comes across the face decently, but doesn't get too straight anywhere. We're trying to get like an organic-y type of deal going. I think that might be the best we're gonna be able to get. Really shouldn't have been yapping while trying to draw because I feel like it's just making us miss a whole lot and I'm already a fucking problem here. Okay, that's too gray. You know what? I bet this is what they did. Hold on. I'm almost certain this is how they would do it. This seems like it's going to be the best method. Okay, we're going to need to lower that. and then you just trace over your thing so that it looks like that was the purpose. Didn't mean to switch that. They probably just did it with like one little splotch like I tried to do, but because I already had this, I was trying to work with this. But that's almost certainly how they did it. It has that vibe to it, you know? Yeah. Like I feel like what Rebirth did is it made me want to watch a better movie. Like it made me want to watch a dinosaur movie that was better than that, not rewatch it. Like you watch the original, or at least for me, if I'll watch like I guess the first Jurassic Park, now I've got to watch the rest of them, right? Not because they're the greatest movies ever, but because they get you like they kind of get you excited for fun dinosaur adventure, right? You see a lot of dinosaurs. There's a bit of adventure. There's suspense. I already know what happened, sure, but it just kind of works. It feels better. You just don't get that vibe with this. This you get the vibe of like I just wish it was something better and I want to watch whatever that is, as opposed to oh I want to watch another one of these. I mean, I guess it kind of sounds like the same vibe, but it's not quite. I think one is wanting to watch something good again. You want to like match the feeling. The other one is you wanting to get the feeling you went there for the first in the first place. I think that's the best way to put it. Like you went to watch a Jurassic, World or Park movie, so you wanted to see dinosaurs and adventure. But what you got was like hardly likable characters with plot armor and their friends dying, I guess. I don't know, maybe they went so far away from the other ones because it's like Chris Pratt's character is very one-dimensional, right? He's gonna be the hero type. So like maybe that's just like they didn't want that anymore, but I don't know. Just didn't really cook. Far from the worst movie I've seen, but definitely the worst of the Jurassic things. Why is this so much effort? All of this for the what's her name from fuck, I can't remember her name. From is it Wendy? No. I gotta look. You know, I'm about to search Nightmare Before Christmas Girl, but I have a feeling that might come out as something else. So we all know there's a type of girl. Sally, that's her name. Sally. Yeah. You know, I feel like I've never met someone named Sally in real life. You know, thinking about that, like a similar topic. I don't think I know any like in school there were so many fucking Kaylas that you would have to like use their last initial to differentiate them. I cannot think of any adult Kaylas. Did they all change their names or something? What happened to all the Kaylas and the Crystals? It's my girl Crystal Metheny. Okay. This has been a lot of work for like no payoff. It's so ass. Really should have left this to the professional. Feels like too much. We're gonna leave it because I'm lazy, but it feels like too much. I could have swore I drew a nose. Good enough for me. Okay. Bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. How did they get there so good? I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the eye thing, but everything else about it is fucking great. At least to me. The eye goop look. That just doesn't do it for me personally. But that, you know, doesn't make it bad or anything. It just makes it strange to me. You know, I guess we could probably just do this. Let's change opacity actually. A little too opaque now. Bum bum ba-dum. Somehow too opaque, but not opaque enough. I wish there were more, I guess more Jurassic Parks. I don't know. More good ones, though, you know what I mean? We're not, we're not interested in those not great ones. We want the good ones. How do I do this? I don't understand. I guess it's just that I don't know the brush to use. All right, we're gonna try something a little different. Nope. Could have swore I was on like an orangey color or a brownie color. Just is not it. Also probably don't want that on. Okay. Or do I? Maybe I do. And we just forego the rest of it. We just send it. Okay. Way too big. Still way too big. Can't say I like it, but why is that so much more red? Fuck. Can I... There's no way for me to like desymmetrize this, is there? Okay, so we'll do that and then we'll do this and then we'll come back in with that. Can't say I really like this, but I don't really feel like I've got a choice here. Jesus, that looks like ass. Okay. All right. So let's give him his little blue eyeball thing for some reason. Well, that works too. Let's just do it this way. Why is it still... Oh, that's why. Maybe do one... No. One more. Then fill it in with white. What does this do for us? Nobody really knows. What if we use this color instead of like the magenta that they used from the last one? I feel like this should be orange for some reason. Okay. Yeah, that looks like ass. Absolute ass. Okay. Jesus. I don't know, this side looks okay, but that looks fucking god-awful, doesn't it? Alright. What if we deviate on the mouth? Okay. Sure. Apparently I'm drawing a Pringle. Okay. I guess we'll give them their spike teeth. And we'll go from there. It's weird. Looking at the original, the eyes are straight on. But then like the mouth is like crooked and not centered. This is that part where like because I don't really know enough, I can't really like make something up that well. Okay. If I just how do I do this? Maybe I should go and look at the mouth page. I could just copy paste the mouth in. I. Getting a little freaky with the tongue, I guess. I don't know. Nah, none of that worked for me. Maybe I just send it. I think I did this backwards, to be honest. Oh, that's the wrong one. And then we... something like this. Like, not quite, but something like. How did this kind of end up on its own thing? How did I do that? I gotta go back a layer, right? I don't remember putting this on its own layer. I guess it's the tooth layer, right? The tooth and tongue layer. So we go back just a little smidgen here. Looks super fucking uncomfortable, doesn't it? She's straight tonguing her shit here. So goofy looking, dude. Okay. Alright, so we got that down. Here's what I'm gonna do now. We're gonna try and do like a selectable layer. Not to be confused with a delectable layer. So that hopefully we can color some shit in. We're finally combining our sacred arts. Mouth and tongue. Wait. Eyes, mouth, and tongue. This will be the first mouth with very little to do with the reference. Like, okay, we sort of have a similar shape, and we're taking the spike teeth, but we've changed it quite a bit, right? We had no tongue to work with here. So if this comes out, you better be impressed. I should have named this tongue line, but I didn't think about that until after, so it's line tongue. Alright, this is gonna be the throat goat. I didn't say you could go off phone, did I? What is this? Neat. Alright, I have a feeling this isn't gonna work. How did I know? Okay. Bro, what am I even looking at here? This is like the fucking messiest thing I've ever seen. Okay. I already know it's gonna be a problem later, so we might as well do this now. And I thought I did a pretty decent job before, but I guess not. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. If and we may, please. I think we got it. So we're gonna pray. Good enough for me. Okay. Nah. No. Okay. And we'll scoot on around it with a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. Zoom out. Not ideal, but I think it's probably going to be the best we're going to be able to do here. I maybe do a little bit of lightning here. How am I going to do these teeth? Because they look super flat right now. Okay. That's right. We're on that opacity. Okay. What do I hear? Cricket? It's the fucking morning. Give me my pink. Guess we're not going to have space for another set of eyes. Okay. You're getting ready to lick the fucking window, dude. Alright, we got to figure out these fucking teeth. How do I do these teeth better? I feel like this isn't great for the tongue, but I think we're not going to do much better. I got to figure out the fucking tooth situation. I guess we're just going to try a couple of things. Um, First thing we're gonna try is just some fake shading. Right, we're gonna make it a little gray to try and give the illusion. Hopefully the gray's not too off-putting, you know? Maybe should have been like a bluish gray, to be honest. Feel like that maybe would have given it a better look. Maybe like around the corners on these. Probably on all of them, actually. That would make some level of sense. This tooth is so fucked up. What have I done? The Tufo Toofus. Man, I did not do a good job with these teeth. Definitely on the side of I'll worry about it later, and now later's here and I'm worrying about it now. That's all fucky wucky, didn't it? It's alright. We're gonna come back through and do some like extra black lining stuff, so I think we'll be okay. How bad is it? Does not at all have the effect I wanted. I don't know what to do. I think we just leave it be. We move on from it. Because I don't know how to do this right now. I mean, we've been having enough trouble with like the rest of the fucking stuff. So if I just move on, it's just something I'm gonna have to like learn another time. Plus we can add a little extra detail while we're going back over this. So maybe that'll help. What if I make this 4? I think we might do that. A little larger than I'd like, but I think it'll play well with the rest of how much I fucked up. It'll let me hide some of the more major shit that we've messed up a little better anyway. When in doubt, hide it. Okay. Alrighty. Am I cooking or what? Oh my god, I left the oven on. I'm gonna burn the breakfast pizza. Okay. Yum, 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 yum. I'm pretty sure I'm like the human version of AI. Like, I can see things, I can sort of copy them, but it doesn't look right. There's still something wrong about it. Something ain't right. Kinda looks like a little face, doesn't it? Yum, 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 yum. Hit him right in the tooth. Okay. Right. Top 10 times this shit wasn't goated. That's a window licker if I've ever seen one. Alright. Alright. Here we go. Mouth is better than everything else. It's not a great mouth, but it's definitely better than everything else. I feel like I still just don't know how to do the lashes, and I don't know how to do like the accent parts of like around the eyes. I don't get it. I feel like we've got eyeball down pretty all right. You know what I mean? It's about as good as the mouth, which is to say not great, but it does get the point across. I feel like we have eye shape kind of decent. It's not great again, but we're getting there. I just feel like we're so far away from figuring out how to do like lashes and the other shit. the like details. I mean, I'm getting pretty good as well as at like doing layers and like planning, right? Doing this and then erasing it out, kind of solid. Not too bad. I don't know. I think we're gonna lock this one down. This one's huge because there's a lot to it. Glad I started naming shit. I did, once again, that comes back to planning. I did plan for that, believe it or not. I I will give myself that this is probably the best one yet overall. Um I think the previous one's lashes came out a bit better. I think this one's eyeballs are about equal. I'm not a huge fan of this eye shape, which kind of takes away from the ball, but this is probably better just because it goes with this eye shape better. I think maybe like the outer eye details on the old one was better. The nose detail here is better. But I kind of went hard on this mouth, so we got to give it to that one probably. But I still don't know what to do for these. I feel like when I was doing like lips and stuff, I could do it, but I just don't know what brush to use. I think part of the problem is the background is colorless. So like this side doesn't look as bad because the background is black, and therefore anything I put on it is in addition to. Whereas this is like negative space back here, so it's like way higher contrast, and you can really tell like the opacity um like difference. So like this really looks like, I don't know, like watercolor. Whereas over here, it doesn't look so much like watercolor. It looks more like some sort of brush stroke. And I'm sure that that pen or brush I'm using is probably water brush. I just don't know what the fuck to use. Um, but like I don't really want this to be as opaque, but also I don't want it to be too fine. Like I want to be able to see the background the way this is, but with white, and I don't know that I can get it to work with white. So maybe what I should do is what I should have done for this one, for example, is black here and then like a peachish color, and then that probably would have let me do a better like highlight. Because I feel like I said, these details work a little better. Because all I had to do was just use like a little bit of blue and a little bit of black. And is it good? No, but it's better than this, right? Like it's a better blend as opposed to suddenly there's color. I kind of wish I had put this thing like over here so that it kind of made sense with where this is. If that makes any sort of sense. I don't know. I think overall it's not too terrible. We got what, two more to do from Bro's training exercises to mine. I don't think that'll be the end of eyes. I'm gonna try and find ones for different perspectives to see if we can do anything different. So like, where it's like half the eyes. I know we've discovered we can do the whole like tilt shift thing. I don't know if we're gonna do that. I don't know. Maybe that is the smart play, but I don't know if we will do that. I think for now though, I'm gonna get off. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Have a fantastic day, night, afternoon, whatever it is for you. I appreciate you. You know how these things go. I should probably save before I forget. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Helldivers, Borderlands, I don't fucking know, but we'll figure it out when it's time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.